Another spectacular day in Colorado Springs, Colorado. A great shot of the Garden of the Gods, one of the most visited tourist attractions in Colorado Springs. Good evening and welcome to Clune Arena, where tonight the Air Force women's basketball team has their sights set on ending a 14-game losing streak to the Boise State Broncos. Hello everyone, I'm Vince Greco. Socially distanced from me is my broadcast partner, Rachel Galligan. Rachel, the Falcons are coming off a road trip in which they played really well. In fact, they were tied or had the lead against Utah State in the final minutes of each of those games, but came up just a little bit short.
Just a little bit short, but we're seeing an Air Force team that's beginning to come into their own just a little bit. I mean, there's been a lot of inconsistencies this year with this roster, within practice, and I think now, here we are early January, starting to see some of that hard work pay off.
And for the first time all season, the Falcons will be playing with a full and healthy roster. They're going to need every one of those bodies to slow down the Broncos, who enter the contest having not lost a game this year. And you can see the Broncos really are dominating, at least statistically, before we start this one.
Yeah, there's nothing to hide here. The Broncos are a phenomenal basketball team. I've really enjoyed watching them and the program they've built the last few years. As you take a look at some of these stats, look at those rebounding numbers. Look how well Boise State is rebounding the basketball. That's going to be a huge key to victory tonight for either team. And then on the flip side, look at the turnover margins.
Right.
Air Force has really struggled kind of taking care of the ball, especially in the first half, digging themselves a hole from time to time. Those are the two stats that really ring out the most to me. But like you said, this is going to be a team effort across the board, slowing down this Boise State offense.
Falcons are going to have to slow down Jade Lavelle. She is a workhorse, playing more minutes than any other Bronco this season, and she averages over 20 points a game.
Yeah, the 5'10 junior guard is as dynamic as they come, averaging 20.6 points per game. She's averaging 26 in just the last two, shooting at 46% from the field. She can really fill it up. It's going to take all five on the floor to take care of her tonight.
And what can you say about Air Force's Emily Conroe? The junior has played in 98 career games, making 84 starts. Apart from one missed game due to COVID quarantine protocol, she's played in every game that Air Force has scheduled since she arrived in 2017.
Can't say enough about veteran leadership coming from the senior 5'10 guard, Emily Conroe. Really, like I was saying, just such a leader. Does so many things on the court that go unnoticed, not always in the stat sheet, but leading the team in rebounding right now. She's coming off two back-to-back double-doubles in the last two previous games. Going to need a big one from her.
Should be a good one. When we come back, the Broncos and Falcons will tip it off. You're watching Air Force women's basketball on the Mountain West Network. Arena, let's take a look at the starters for the Boise State Broncos this evening. Number 12, Mary Kay Naro, a 5'11 freshman from Beaverton, Oregon. 25, Rachel Bowers, a 6'3 junior from Newhall, California. 30, Jade Lavelle, a 5'10 junior from Sammamish, Washington. 35, Alexis Mark from Chatworth, California, and rounding out the starting five for the Broncos will be number 44, Mallory McGuire, a 6'5 redshirt senior from Reno, Nevada. Starters for the Air Force Falcons this evening, number 1, Brianna Autry Thompson. She has been a real spark plug for this team so far this season, averaging over 13 points a game. Number 3, Sierra Winters, a 5'7 guard out of El Paso, Texas. Emily Conroe wears number 13. She's a 5'10 guard. Number 23, the leading scorer on this team for the Falcons, Riley Snyder, a 6-foot junior from Fruita, Colorado. And number 55 from right here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. She played at Air Academy High School. Will be number 55, Cassidy Huffman. We are set to go. The ball is in the air. Thanks for being with us tonight on the Mountain West Network. Boise controls the basketball from the start, and we'll see what happens. The Falcons have played great defense, one of the best defensive teams in the country, especially in the steals department, as they lead the Mountain West in that category.
And they start off with a game with a really big-time stop right there. That's what this game is going to come down to. Are you able to get enough consecutive stops? This is a really potent Boise State offense, averaging close to 82 points per game, so they can really fill it up, and they can fill it up quick.
Autry Thompson up top to Snyder, who's really had to step up in the absence of some of the key scores for the Falcons. We've got a quick whistle here. A foul called against Alexis Mark, number 35. First foul on Mark. First team foul going against the Broncos. Boise brings a lot of size into this Clune Arena tonight as McGuire, as we said, a 6'5" redshirt senior. In the paint, Snyder better get out or she'll have a 3-second call. Riley does get the shot off. It's knocked out of bounds and will go over to Boise State.
It's amazing. Snyder really has an ability to maneuver in the lane a lot of different ways. She has such length to her game. You saw that last possession, really using that up and under, working around her defender.
Broncos have it. Lavelle lobs it inside to McGuire. Rattles around, no. Ball's on the floor. Huffman and McGuire do battle. Jump ball. Possession arrow goes over to the Falcons. Good hustle here early. Scoreless game. Glad you're with us in Colorado Springs, Colorado this evening. This will be the first of two. The Falcons will play here again against Boise State Friday afternoon. Winters. Audrey Thompson will be called for a travel. No argument from Audrey Thompson. Maybe took half a step too many as she was trying to get to the basket.
Yeah, you certainly want to eliminate some of those unforced turnovers early on in the game.
Broncos swing it down the left side, back up top. Lavelle. Pretty good ball movement early by the Broncos, but there's a turnover, and here comes Audrey Thompson. Kicks it over to Winters. Back up top, Emily Conroe. She's been a workhorse. Snyder for three, hard off the glass, had to alter her shot at the last second. Rebound comes down to Lavelle, and quickly the other way are the Broncos. Nice defense. Anticipating that pass was Riley Snyder. Conroe in the corner. Huffman squares up against McGuire. Huffman will take it down along the baseline, tries to spin inside, dishes off to Conroe, off her hands and over to the Broncos.
You can see that length and that size of Boise State causing some early uneasiness from the Falcons. They do bring a lot of size.
Broncos are led by head coach Gordy Presnell. On the Falcons bench in her 6th year, Chris Gobrecht for Air Force. Lavelle drives inside against Winters, and the ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay with the Broncos. Maybe a break there for the Falcons as Winters looked like she had tied up Lavelle pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not sure how this wasn't a foul.
Broncos get it in. Plenty of time to shoot. Nice space created there by Alexis Mark, kind of using that forearm to create a little space, and then the ball goes in the net.
Well, and that just all started with that middle penetration, that drive to the middle. If she's able to get that deep in the paint, defense is designed to break down at that point.
Good pick from Conroe, trying to free up Snyder. Riley has it blocked away by Mark, and quickly in transition come the Broncos. Lavelle gets past Conroe and uses the left-hander, kisses it off the glass, and it's a 4-0 advantage Broncos. Falcons will take it in underneath their own hoop. Ball lobbed and stolen. Quick hands by Mary Kay Naro, and here come the Broncos the other way. There's Lavelle again. Same shot as last time. A little too easy, Rachel, in the last two possessions.
Yeah, defending turnovers is difficult, and this is a Broncos team that wants to push the pace. If they get in those advantage situations, those 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, they're going to be really tough.
There's a nice answer from Emily Conroe. No hesitation, turns, squares up, fires, and the first two of the game for Air Force. Broncos slow up the pace just a little bit. Narrow to the right side. There's Lavelle. She's had the hot hand. Scoop up and in by Narrow. Audrey Thompson running the show for Air Force, calls out a play. She's being watched closely by Narrow. Here's Conroe. Lobs it down, tries to get it past the length of Mallory McGuire to no avail. Her first substitutions of the game in for Air Force will be number 11, Kayla Pilson, a freshman out of Houston, Texas. And also checking in will be Nikki McDonald, a 5'11" sophomore from Chicago, Illinois. Broncos also make some changes. Kimora Sykes in the game. And also will be Elodie Lalat checking in. And there we go. Falcons back on the board. They get another bucket here, cut the lead in half. Nice cut to the basket by Boise State. No problem there for Air Force as they catch a break. Nice rebound by McDonald. Here comes Air Force the other way. Audrey Thompson amongst the Giants gets the shot off. It will not fall, but she'll go to the free throw line for two. Take another look.
That's one thing I love about Audrey Thompson. If she can get it in the open court, she is going to get it to the rim. She is going to force you to step up and try and stop her. That's one of her signature things that she does. I love the aggression out of her.
Dasha McMillan has checked in for Air Force. First shot by Audrey Thompson from the free throw line is good. One more. It also is good, and the Falcons have cut the lead to 2. Ball goes out of bounds, and the officials are looking at each other, and it looks like it will go over to Air Force. So another turnover created by this stingy Air Force defense.
Yeah, there's a little bit of miscommunication between the officials there as to what the call was, but Air Force will get the advantage.
Thompson directing traffic. Hands it off to Pilson. She still has it, gives it back to Audrey Thompson. Long three on the way, just off back iron. Falcons battle for the rebound, comes down into the hands of Reed for the Broncos. Lobs inside, nice job poking that one away by McMillan. We've got a timeout on the floor with 4:49 to go in this first quarter. It's 8-6 Broncos. Back in a moment here on the Mountain West Network. We are halfway through a fast-paced first quarter. Falcons down 8-6 to the Broncos in this one. Broncos with the basketball. Boise State shooting 50% so far in this game. Falcons just 29%, but they're only down by 2 and playing some pretty good defense. Ball comes down into the hands of Boise, knocked away by Sierra Winters. Audrey Thompson wants to go the other way, cut off nicely by Sykes. Falcons set up the offense. Winters matched up against Lavelle. Down in the corner goes the Falcons, trying to get it inside. Ball thrown away. Turnover. Air Force has got to really take care of this basketball, especially against this team. And we're going to have a foul, a blocking foul, go against Sierra Winters.
Yeah, we've got 8 combined early turnovers so far in this game, 4 apiece for each team. Can't imagine either coach is too thrilled with that number right now, but that's all right. We're just settling in on this one.
Checking back in for Air Force is Riley Snyder, who averages, as I said, over 19 points a game. And how about Kaylin Emmel? We have not seen her for a while because of the COVID protocol regulations at the academy, but when she has it going, Rich, she's one of the better players in the conference.
Yeah, I mean, Kaylin Emmel, so happy to see her back out on the court. I mean, coming into this season was the returning leading scorer for Air Force. Has only played in 2 games so far, so a breath of fresh air for the Falcons. Getting her back out on the court.
Reagan Reed, 1 of 2 from the free throw line there. 3-point advantage for the Broncos. Audrey Thompson gets a step and the basket +1. She's got such a first quick step.
She has such a quick first step, but this is such a tough shot to be able to take this hit and finish with contact. And she didn't get the lucky roll there. I got to say, she put a little spin on it, but doing a great job so far, being aggressive, getting herself to the free throw line.
3 of 3 from the free throw line tonight so far is Thompson. She just gets better and better on all phases of this game, it seems like. Defensively, offensively, you see the quick defense there. Anna Osley has checked in for Boise State and makes...
That was a pretty little move right there, wasn't it?
It was. Here's Emmel. Looks like she's got a little pace to her game. Audrey Thompson from way downtown, a little short, goes off the rim and out of bounds and over to Boise State.
you know, if I'm Coach Gilbrecht, I'm good with that shot. That's an open shot. Her feet were set. It's an open look. She can knock that down.
Absolutely. Mary Kay Naro back in for Boise State. Abby Muse has been on the floor for a couple minutes also for the Broncos. She tries to set a pick on Audrey Thompson. Lalott drives inside. Nice feed. Good head fake and an easy bucket for Abby Muse.
Really good, just patience around the rim. Footwork, composure. It was a nice finish there by Muse.
Falcons a little bit of a slump here. Need to get back on the offensive end and put this ball in. Snyder wide open down the lane. Somebody forgot to play defense, and Riley Snyder makes him play. Falcons looking for a stop. Audrey Thompson working hard. Tries to poke the ball away from Naro and will be called for the foul. Take another look here. She has such quick hands. Reaches in, gets a little bit of the ball, but the official thought she had too much of the body.
Yeah, you know, just a couple of years ago, they started calling that a lot tighter than what they used to.
Naro has it back and set up the offense. Goes to the basket, kicks it back up top. Long three on the way and off the back iron. Falcons are there for the rebound. Here comes Audrey Thompson, pushing the pace, kicks it back up. Snyder thought the three, she'll take it down the lane. The floater no good, and a foul will be called. I believe this one will go against Boise State after the shot. Take another look to see if we're right here.
Yeah, it's hard to tell there. I think depending on which team you're with, you have a different interpretation as to what that call should have been. But how about Riley Snyder? I mean, the really fascinating thing about with her length and versatility, she can score it so many different ways. Being able to knock down the open three. She's been way more aggressive, in my opinion, this season so far, getting it to the basket and being a threat out of that high post.
First free throw is a little strong. Riley will have one more. This one is up and in. She's a really good free throw shooter, nearly 81% on the season. Falcons come with a little full court pressure. Audrey Gadison has checked in for Coach Gobrecht and the Falcons. 1 point advantage for the Broncos. Ball almost out of bounds. Saved by Osley. Nice pass inside. This one just a little too short, and here comes Air Force with a chance to take the lead.
Man, Boise State has missed a couple of really easy bunnies so far this first quarter.
Gadison picks up her dribble, bounces it into McDonald. Back up top to Conroe. Coach Gobrecht really finding a lot of different players. That shot put up and missed by Emmel. She had a really good look. Good hustle by Gadison, knocking that out of bounds. Substitution for the Broncos. Back in will be Mallory McGuire. Osley working against Emmel. Gets it across the half-court stripe. Osley gets a nice screen, but again misses a layup inside in the paint. A lot of missed opportunities, as you said, Rachel. Long pass down court. Good hands by Alexis Mark, and she'll bring it the other way. Osley back to Mark. Working against Emmel. Blocked away by Conroe into the hands of Riley. So again, Air Force doing a good job on the defensive end. Snyder crosses her dribble in the paint. Had it blocked. Emmel had it and then throws it out of bounds. So we have been preaching this all night, but both of these teams need to take care of the basketball.
Yeah, I mean, we said that, and now here we are, minute left, and we've got about 10 combined turnovers. But both teams are working extremely hard on the defensive end of the floor, but at the same time looking to push the tempo. And I like that they're both being aggressive, but like you said, just too many turnovers and mistakes early in this one.
McGuire hard off the glass. Good defense by Conroe, and then banking it off the glass are the Broncos, and they up their lead to 3 with 43 seconds to go in this first quarter.
And that's what you can't give up if you're Air Force, those second and third chance opportunities.
Snyder called for a travel. Boise will have the basketball. 3 seconds different on the game clock and the shot clock. Ball comes in. Oh, nice hustle by the Falcons. The layup is great. What a play and anticipation move by Nikki McDonald. Fantastic hustle on the defensive end. Falcons like to get the ball back here to end the first quarter. Broncos can just run out the clock if they so choose. Naro against Gadison. Lavelle gets a step on Immel, and it's in. Falcons can get a shot if they hurry. Can't get the ball in bounds. Immel has it's going to have to let it launch from half court, and that one comes just wide to the right. But a pretty good first quarter for these Air Force Falcons. They are down by 3 after 1 quarter of play. 17-14. We'll come back with the second quarter right after this here on the Mountain West Network. One of the top scoring offensive teams in the country, held to just 17 points. You see the defense from Riley Snyder. How about the block by Emily Conroe? And then maybe the best play for Air Force of that first quarter is Nikki McDonald, the steal and the layup. So Rachel, they're getting it done on the defensive end.
I think they're doing a really good job so far. I mean, you can averaging about 20 points a quarter, and like we were saying, just under 82 points per game. But I think right now, if I'm Air Force, you want to eliminate their ability to get into the paint and turn the corner and go middle. That's kind of how they've been scoring so far this game.
Nice pass from McGuire inside to Lavelle. Beautiful work by the Broncos on that possession. Coming out of that first and second quarter break, there's Audrey Thompson. Can't get it to go off the glass, and Air Force will have to get a defensive stop here. Naro over to McGuire. There's Conroe for the steal. She'll go in for the layup, and she's got it. And that's just what the doctor ordered.
Air Force has done such a good job of anticipating passing lanes.
Back comes Boise. Naro working against Audrey Thompson. Gets through a pick. There's quick hands by Thompson, and then Conroe, and then, whoa, elbows were flying, and they're going to call that. Mallory McGuire just a little too aggressive. She was double teamed by Audrey Thompson. Take a look here as the ball is up in the air. She does gain control of it, but then you can kind of see there's more than one elbow that's flying. Yeah. Good thing those didn't connect.
Yeah.
Audrey Thompson working against Naro. Quick spin move by Snyder. That one didn't go. Had to alter the shot just a little bit. Back comes Boise State. Broncos are up 3, trying to build on that lead. McGuire, the one-handed spin move is a no-go, and up with the rebound is Sierra Winters. Quickly the other way, Audrey Thompson throws up kind of a wild shot, no call. It'll stay down here as it blocked out of bounds by the Broncos.
I feel like Audrey Thompson forced that one just a little bit.
Snyder to inbound. There's Winters. Conroe's had a pretty good game on both ends of the floor. She has 6 points so far and 4 rebounds. Turnover by Air Force. Have to take care of that basketball. Foul called on Mallory McGuire. So that may be a little bit of frustration from the listen, Rachel, she's got a lot of size. She's a very good player, but when you have these smaller players just buzzing and double teaming, that eats at you.
I totally get it. I was a center when I was playing inside, and you've just got little guards getting in there and getting pesky. It gets frustrating.
Audrey Thompson slows it down for Air Force. Snyder turns and faces the basket. She'll just launch that if they're going to give it to her, and why not? The high arcing three-point. The scouting report says you leave this kid open, she's going to make more than she misses.
She is just really playing with such confidence right now. It's been really fun to watch her.
We have a jump ball, and Air Force will have possession. Or not. I think the official's going to change that. Air Force has it, brings it in. Audrey Thompson. Falcons looking to take perhaps their first lead of this basketball games. Winters working against Lavelle. Sierra goes the opposite way, spins in the paint. She'll try and scoop it off the glass. Does not get it to go. Good effort by Sierra Winters. Rebound into the hands of Rachel Bowers. Foul will be called this time against the Falcons. Goes against Sierra Winters. It's the first team foul this period. Cassidy Huffman will check back in for Air Force. Lavelle versus Audrey Thompson. Rifle pass over to Reed, who can't get it to fall. Huffman comes down with the rebound. Audrey Thompson again trying to get a step, and she'll be called for the travel. And we've done several of these games so far, Rachel, this season, and I come out and I work some of the Air Force men's games too. It seems like they're really cracking down on that pivot foot and traveling this year. There seems to be a lot more of those calls than they have been in the past, and it might just be me, but in the men's game here last week, there must have been 10 to 15 traveling calls.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, they very well could be, as we see yet another steal and turnover for Boise State. That is now the 5th turnover in the last 3 minutes for Boise State as head coach Gordy Presnell wants the timeout.
And I don't blame him. Air Force has jumped out in front of this one with 6:59 to go in this second quarter. We'll step aside. Back in a moment here on the Mountain West Network. Welcome back. The Air Force Falcons are on a 7-0 run over the last 2:28. A lot of it due to Brianna Audrey Thompson. The steal in the bucket. She has 7 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and is just playing spectacular on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I mean, you could talk about what she's bringing on as an offensive spark, but what she's doing defensively right now, causing so many frustrations for Boise State, is invaluable.
Well, working against Snyder. Kicks it off to Naro. She gets a step, and there is Huffman, who knocks that one out of bounds. 12 to shoot for the Broncos. Naro inbounds. Lavelle, a quick jumper. Man, that's pretty. Had a step, fade away, kind of looked like Michael Jordan.
Took the words right out of my mouth. She's smooth.
Audrey Thompson. This one tied up. Bounces inside to Snyder. See if they play defense on her this time. Gets a move. Oh, Riley in and out. Rebound comes down to Lalott. Hands it off to Naro, and quickly the other way come the Broncos. Same spot for Lavelle, this time short. Ball into the hands of Audrey Thompson. Falcons have numbers if they hurry. Good call by Audrey Thompson to pick that one up and not continue her dribble, or it would have been called another turnover. Audrey Thompson tries to get inside. There's Huffman. Pilson. Falcons had their chances there, just could not get it to go. Kayla Pilson is checked in during that timeout for Air Force. Back quickly, a 3 is launched. No. Audrey Thompson, another rebound. That shot was missed by Osley, and now it's turned into a track meet. Pilson spins, loses control momentarily. Jump ball, and this time the possession belongs to Boise State.
You know, you're getting stops. You're forcing Boise State to miss the shots that you want them to miss. You've got to have a little bit more composure here on the offensive end of the floor if you're Air Force. You understand when to be aggressive and get it to the rim, and understand when to pull it back and work your half-court offense.
Kaylin Emmel checks back in for Air Force. Broncos have it. Naro will bring it up. She has 2 points on the evening. Couple of rebounds. Spins against Gadison. Osley in the corner, and there's yet another travel call. This one goes against the Broncos.
And that is the 11th turnover for Boise State. They came into the game averaging just 14 a game.
They may have that before halftime. Gadison running the point guard with Audrey Thompson on the bench. Snyder hands off to Pilson. Kayla has it go off her foot. Ball is on the floor, scoops it over to Gadison. She'll launch from 3 and got it. That's opportunistic play by the Falcons. Ball just rolled down to Gadison, and she makes him pay. Other direction, Broncos try and answer with the 3. Reed misses, and here comes Gadison.
such an unusual play to have such helter-skelter balls rolling around, people diving on it, to that lead to a three-pointer the way it did.
Gadison from the same spot has Osley in her face. Picks up her dribble, is going to need some help. Tries to get it down below to Pilsen. She does, and she gets a shot off, and that will draw a foul against the Broncos. Take a look here. Gadison in a little bit of trouble. Just gets it off to Pilsen, who shoots falling down. She stood up with a big smile on her face, and she'll go to the free throw line.
And that was a really good read there by Pilsen. The way Boise State plays defense, they get out and pressure you. They're overplaying her quite a bit. She looked for the back door. Really good read by the freshman.
First free throw's on the way. Good free throw shooter is Kayla Pilsen, averaging 75% from the free throw line. Second one is up, and that is good as well. Falcons have extended the lead 26-21, 4:30 to go here in quarter number 2. Naro working against Gadison, picks up her dribble. There's Lavelle working against Immel. Immel, quick hands, pokes it away momentarily. Broncos will regroup, set it up top to Naro. 10 to shoot on that shot clock. Naro down in the corner. Lobbed inside. Good hands again by Huffman. Broncos are going to have to hurry, get it off, and in and out. And Huffman will get the rebound. Falcons on a 12-2 run over the last 5 minutes and 26 seconds. See if they can't add it here. Pilsen looking at Immel. Hands it off to Gadison. Falcons being really patient offensively here. Immel head fake against Lavelle. Ball is on the floor. Here come the Broncos, 2-on-1. Quickly the other way. Gadison will be called for the foul, as driving hard to the hole was Alexis Mark. Take another look here. Not a bad foul by Gadison. She kept the ball from going in, and take your chances at the free throw line with Mark. Mark will have 2 shots. Cassidy Huffman has taken a seat for the Falcons. First free throw is good. Second one is no good, and there's Immel for the rebound. Gadison listening to Coach Gobrecht as she gets a play. Working against Lavelle. Bounces to Immel. Nice to see if we get Caitlin hot here. Pilsen uses a screen from Snyder. Kicks it over to Gadison. She'll launch for 3 again. And off the glass and in. I'm not sure I heard her call that, but we'll take it. Back comes Boise State. Lavelle needs to answer for her team. That one off the side of the rim. Rebounded nicely by Bowers. Mark called for a travel, and another turnover going against Boise State.
Giving both teams an opportunity to kind of regroup right now. Set up defensively. Give Air Force an opportunity to work in the half court a little bit.
Gadison has given Audrey Thompson a nice little breather here late in this second quarter. Picks up the dribble, bounces to Snyder. Snyder really got the quick step there and just missed the shot. Bounce ahead. What a pass to Lavelle, and she makes it count. But that was just a beautiful pass from her teammate.
Just tremendous execution when running the break. I mean, that was a great thread through the defense, and you can see how quickly and how effective the Broncos are when they can get it out quick, whether it's a turnover or whether it's a missed shot.
Immel working against Naro, over to Snyder. Gadison will launch for 3 again, and boy, has she come up big. 3 consecutive three-pointers for Audrey Gadison. Falcons catch a break there. Good defense by Gadison. Here comes Immel the other direction. Kaylin stops. Give it over to Gadison. Why not? She has the hot hand down in the corner. Conroe. Falcons up 8, trying to extend it. A near steal by Makalova, who has checked in, and you know her quite well.
I do. Martina Makalova, a player that I have known for several years from Slovakia. Got a chance to watch her compete with her national team. Just a freshman here for Boise State.
Both teams are very young and giving the young players a lot of playing time here this evening at Clune Arena. 10 to shoot for Air Force. Audrey Thompson is checked back in. Nice pass inside to Riley Snyder, and she's got the layup. Audrey Thompson to Snyder, and a big smile on Audrey Thompson's face coming back down the floor.
Really good read there by Snyder. She had the defender trailing on her behind, and that was just a great connection between Audrey Thompson and Snyder.
Ball down to Mark. Mark spins. Whoa, and there's Emily Conroe. How about that backside help? See, and I think this is what's really bothering Boise State right now. Falcons might be a little smaller, but they are been relentless and very quick to the ball on the defensive end.
I think they've done a good job with their rotations, and that's what that was on that last possession, is a backside defensive rotation, knowing the scouting report and how you want to defend specific plays.
Under a minute to go. Kaylin Emmel tried to get the shot off, had the presence of mind to put the ball on the floor, but they call a jump ball, and the possession belongs to the Broncos. So under a minute to go, Boise State finds themselves in an unusual situation, down 10 here. A ton of time left in this basketball game as they try and break this scoring drought. They are just one of their last 7 from the floor. Lavelle misses that one. Emmel will slow it down, and the Falcons will see if they can't get another bucket here before the end of the second quarter. Audrey Thompson with it, gets a step at the free throw line. Her layup is no good. Gets the ball back out to Snyder, who launches for 3. No, there's Audrey Thompson again. She's amongst the Giants, and how she gets that shot off is beyond me, but she gets it to go for Air Force. 36-24. One more shot here for Boise to end this second quarter. Naro out top, marked, no, short, and that has how quarter number 2 will come to a close. And what an effort from this Air Force Falcons women's basketball team as they head into the locker room at halftime, leading the Broncos 36-24. We'll come back in a moment, take a look at some of the statistics from the first 2 quarters and highlights, of course. Keep it right here. You're watching Air Force women's basketball on the Mountain West Network. Back to Clune Arena. Vince Greco, Rachel Galligan with you tonight. Thanks for being with us. The Air Force Falcons trailed Boise State 17-14 after 1 quarter of play. They outscore the Broncos 22-7 in that second quarter. And there's a lot going on here in this game. Obviously, the Falcons are playing good defense because they forced a lot of unconventional turnovers for Boise State. And they missed some early shots early, did the Broncos, Rachel. And you made this point. I mean, you played this game a long time. When you miss some of those early shots early, it gets in your head.
It does, and we saw, I would say, 4 or 5 missed layups from the Broncos in the first half. And when you have those opportunities and they don't go, it can be a little bit deflating and definitely cause some frustrations. And then you combine the turnover aspect of it. That was a really key stat for this game. The Broncos averaged 14 in a regular game. Coming into this game, they've got 13 tonight. So Air Force, you know, has forced a lot of those, but I also think the Broncos have kind of forced some unforced turnovers, if you will. But it helps with Air Force, you know, seeing the ball go through the basket that the way they have, shooting 43%, as you can see. Boise State shooting 35%. But look at that 3-point percentage. Air Force 4 for 8 beyond the arc. And that's a huge stat. That is a little bit unusual. I don't want to say it's not impossible. I think Air Force has done a really good job of gaining confidence in that these last few games, but that's a key stat in this game as well. But then one last thing I want to talk about before I kick it back to you is the rebounding numbers. That's huge. Broncos do a great job of really controlling the glass, but right now Air Force actually +1 on the rebounding margin. I don't want to call them out too bad, but Air Force is out rebounding Broncos by 20-19 right now, which is everything. You really want to limit those second and third chance opportunities, and they've done a pretty good job of it so far.
No, they really have, and it's not surprising because Air Force is relentless, but there is so much size and length on that Boise State team that to have those rebounds be as close as they have. And what can you say about Audrey Gadison coming off the bench with 3 3-pointers? Falcons have got to click in now. We'll have to see. I guarantee you Coach Gordy Presnell is in there talking to his team about turnovers, about crashing the board. So we'll see what happens here in quarter number 3 and 4. We're going to step aside again real quick. When we come back, we'll have some highlights for you from the first 2 quarters of action at Clune Arena. This is Air Force women's basketball on the Mountain West Network. I'm here at Clune Arena on the campus of the United States Air Force Academy. Falcons out in front 36-24, and they got contributions from all sorts of players, and they had a pretty good defensive effort. They really limited the play of Boise State star Jade Lavelle. She got her points as she started out early. Nice pass, and she takes this one inside off the glass. Lavelle would finish the first 2 quarters with 12 points, but again, the Falcons have done a pretty good job neutralizing her. All of those points you can see driving to the paint. She did have one nice jumper from the baseline, but the point guard play from Air Force has been phenomenal, as you see the pass from Audrey Thompson into Emily Conroe, who kept Air Force in it in that first quarter with a couple of buckets. Emily has 6 points through 2 quarters of play. Talking about those point guards, here's Audrey Thompson, gets it inside, drops it, and goes to the free throw line for 1. She is 3 of 3 from the free throw line tonight. She's doing it on the defensive end as well. She has a couple of steals in this game, and how about this one on the floor over to Audrey Gadison, who, when Audrey Thompson is out, Gadison comes in, knocks down the 3 ball. She had 3 3-pointers in that second quarter to extend Air Force's lead to 36-24. So as I said, Rachel, the point guard play between Audrey Gadison and Brianna Audrey Thompson has been stellar in this basketball game.
Yeah, I think we've seen the Falcons do a really good job of sharing the basketball, working, being patient, whether that's in the half court or making decisions and being aggressive and getting it to the rim. There have been a few turnovers in that instance, but you know, if I'm Coach Gobrecht, I'm happy overall with the aggression and how tough Air Force did come out in that first half. But you know, the Air Force has done a good job of really a balanced scoring attack, and they're going to need more of that this second half.
And we didn't even talk about Riley Snyder. She has 8 points. She leads this team in scoring, and for the first time in a couple of games, Kaylin Emmel, who when she's hot might be the best shooter on this basketball team, and she has 0 points.
Well, and I can guarantee you that Boise State knows that. It's going to take a few games for Emmel to kind of get her legs back underneath her and get comfortable back out there on the court. But as we said, heading into this season, she was the returning leading scorer for this Air Force team.
Both teams are back on the floor, so we'll step aside one more time. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be a heck of a second half right after this here on the Mountain West Network. Set to go for quarter number 3 here at Clune Arena. Starters will be the same as they were for the Falcons to open the game. It'll be Audrey Thompson, Winters, Conroe, Snyder, and Huffman. For the Boise State Broncos, Naro, Bowers, Lavelle, Mark, and McGuire will be the starters for the Broncos. Glad you're with us tonight. Again, a reminder, we'll be back again Friday afternoon, same 2 teams, 2:30 tip-off. Audrey Thompson controls it for the Air Force Falcons, takes it to the right side in front of her own bench. Kicks it over to Winters. Sierra switches up her dribble. Conroe wants the 3. This one a little short, off the hands of McGuire, and it'll stay Air Force basketball.
Really good execution there. Got the shot they were looking for. Coach drew up out of half.
Audrey Thompson, Conroe. Falcons trying to be real patient against this man-to-man defense the Broncos bring here tonight. Audrey Thompson has the step, floats in the lane, and drops it. Falcons strike first in quarter number 3. Nice bounce pass inside. Quick hands by Sierra Winters. Near turnover again by the Broncos. McGuire will control it way up top for the Broncos. Good defense by Audrey Thompson. Gets leveled by McGuire. No call, and Naro puts this one in, and Audrey Thompson is still on the floor after the no call from the officials. Thompson is back up. And I think she wants to come out. She's kind of holding her neck a little bit. And she did run square in to Mallory McGuire. Take another look here. As you can see, just the head snap a little bit. And Audrey Thompson is still holding her neck as she goes to the bench.
Yeah, there's got to be communication on those types of plays. Not saying there wasn't, but Audrey Thompson did not see that coming and shook her up definitely a little bit.
Audrey Gadison is back in. Lobs it inside, just not quite far enough for Riley Snyder, and here come the Broncos on the move quickly. Pass down on the blocks, Mark spins, will kick it back up top to Lavelle. She'll work against Winters, picks up the dribble. Naro lobs it inside, poked away by Huffman into the hands of Snyder. So Air Force looks like they have 10 white jerseys on the floor playing defense. They're everywhere.
Yeah, that's a part of the scouting report when you know they're trying to throw that high-low pass. There's a three from Riley Snyder, rims out. That backside rotation was right there. She was able to come up with the steal. That was perfect execution on the defensive end by Air Force.
Snyder missed the three, got it back, and the layup was no good. Controlled by McGuire. Broncos bring it the other way. Naro works against Gadison. Marks has it rim in and out. Ball kept alive by Huffman. Long down court pass. Emily Conroe wide open. She'll take the layup and good. She saw the hustling Mallory McGuire coming at her, but did not panic and gets this one off the glass for two. Mark lobs it inside. Nice pass. Good job of getting open as well by Rachel Bowers, and she hits off the glass for the Broncos. 40-26. Falcons have it, slowing down the pace just a little bit, really being patient on the offense. Conroe head fakes, bounces to Huffman. Thought about lobbing inside, decides not to. Then goes, gets a step, kicks it down in the corner, and she's called for the travel. Maybe a chance opportunity there where Cassidy should have just taken the shot instead of kicking it out of the corner.
Yeah, I saw what she was seeing, but one too many steps there.
Falcons have to take care of the basketball in quarters number 3 and 4 to stay in this basketball game. Naro, right side to Marks. There's Lavelle. She'll take the long shot, and she's got it. That's 14 points. Nearly half of her team's points belong to Jade Lavelle. Gadison works against Naro, gets a step in the paint, tries to bounce it to Huffman. Huffman has it, working against McGuire. Ball is on the floor. Huffman gets it back. Falcons are trying to set up the offense under 10. Conroe drives amongst the Giants, kicks it over to Winters, wide open, and Sierra calmly sinks that one. Good ball movement by Air Force. Naro trying to lob it inside. There's Conroe, the quick hands in anticipation. 2-on-1 for the Falcons. Gadison, Conroe, bunny. So unselfish by Gadison and Conroe. That's just perfect give-and-go basketball.
You can see Boise State is trying so hard to get the ball into the paint right now. Even overloading on the sides of the floor as a middle drive there. Finally, they get one to roll.
Mark gets it. Just a really quick pace play by the Broncos to get Mark that wide open look. Gadison brings it across the half court stripe. Substitutions galore at the next whistle. Kayla Pilson has checked in. There's Sierra Winters tying up McGuire. Will be a jump ball. It'll go over to the Broncos. Take a look at the quick play by the Broncos. Marks to get them back on the board. Just steps around the Falcons. Kayla Pilson. Checking in for Air Force, Nikki McDonald back in the game, as is Riley Snyder. A slew of changes for the Broncos. Kimura Sykes, who has the ball now, kicks it inside. Nice passing by the Broncos, and that was Elodie Lalat with the basket. She takes a nice pass from her teammate. Osley's back in the game, so 4 substitutions. Snyder, can't get it to go. Rebound pulled down by Lalat. So perhaps Coach Gordy Presnell wants to give some of his backups some time to see if they can create a little bit of a spark. Osley does not get it to go, and it'll belong to Air Force. Kaylin Immel will check in for the Falcons, taking instructions from Coach Gobrecht. Sierra Winters will take a bit of a breather. Gadison taking over the point guard duties right now for Audrey Thompson, who is on the bench. I think she'll be back in this basketball game before the end of the evening. McDonald to Snyder. Falcons kind of stagnant. They bounce it inside. Nice job by McDonald. The spin move and the left hand off the glass. She really worked hard to get position, and she made the Broncos pay.
How about the footwork and the up and under from McDonald on that play?
Reed inside. Here comes Kaylin Immel. Good hands by Immel. She is hustling. The shot is no good, but Kaylin draws the foul. That foul will go against Kimora Sykes, and Kaylin Immel showing some spark with the steal, and here she comes with a full head of steam, and she'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2, but we got to step aside first with a timeout. Keep it here on the Mountain West Network. 34 lead here at Clune Arena. They still have that 12-point advantage, although Boise State's found some spark offensively, scoring 4 of the last 5 times down the floor. Immel steps up to the free throw line, knocks down her first point of the game. Kaylin's been to the free throw line just 7 times this year, knocked down 6 of them. Broncos with the basketball. Down in the corner is Osley. Two-handed pass inside, another turnover, and here comes the Air Force Falcons. Good to see Brianna Audrey Thompson is back in for Air Force. Back at that point guard position, wastes no time going to the basket, doesn't get it to go, knocked out of her hands, and Air Force will still have it. Falcons will inbound under their own hoop. Immel lobs it into Snyder. Riley brings it back, wants the 3, launches and got it! Spot on was Riley Snyder, and the Falcons are up 51-34.
How about Riley Snyder with that shot? If I'm correct, is now shooting close to 40% beyond the 3-point line on the season.
She really has it dialed in. Osley gives it back out top to Reed. Reed will set up the offense, under 10 on the shot clock. Reed working against Immel. Good job by Kaylin to force a difficult shot. Falcons pushing the other way. Pilson has a step, goes to the right side and off the glass. And there's another timeout called. This one again by head coach Gordy Presnell, as the Falcons will not take the foot off the gas pedal.
And they shouldn't. Why would you? And you can't be comfortable with a lead, and you definitely can't be comfortable with a lead when you're playing Boise State. And how about Pilson there, man? The athletic take to the rim. She can really use her length. She was able to get it to the other side. Aggressive take. Air Force with all the momentum right now. And
you take a look at that Air Force huddle on the sidelines. There's smiles, there's clapping, there's enthusiasm. There's a lot of time left in this basketball game tonight, but we're seeing this Falcons team play with a sense of confidence that we haven't seen in quite some time. Yeah, and Coach Gobrecht, talking to her earlier on in the season, spoke just about that. She said, it really comes down to confidence. And how do you gain confidence? Well, it comes through demonstrated ability, and it comes through veteran leadership. And early in the season, there wasn't a lot of consistency in terms of how many times they were able to practice. They had to deal with some adversity, but this is a tough team. This is a veteran-led team. Coach Gobrecht came into the season saying this arguably could be one of the best teams we've had here at Air Force with that leadership, and it was going to take a little bit of time to see some of that confidence come about, but we're definitely seeing that right now. There's no doubt about that. And the Falcons are on a 9-0 run over the last 1 minute and 22 seconds. And the thing is yes, they've got 11 points from Audrey Thompson, an 11 from Riley Snyder, and Emily Conroe has 10. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different players have scored for the Falcons. So they're getting production from the bench. They're getting it from their starters. It's coming from everywhere.
Well, they're making shots, you know, and when you see the ball go through the basket early on like they were able to from Emily Conroe, that gives you that confidence that they've already been looking for throughout the season. Air Force came into this game shooting 38%. Tonight, shooting close to 47% on the game.
Naro brings it up for Boise State, working against Audrey Thompson. Nice lob inside, but look at the anticipation again by the Falcons. Nikki McDonald with the steal. Here comes Audrey Thompson, has it swatted away, but there'll be a foul called against Naro. And Audrey Thompson will go to the free throw line to shoot a couple. Take a look here as she gets inside, gets fouled. Initially looked like it had a ball, but the one thing there's been some really good sportsmanship from this Broncos team, as Nara was the first one to help Audrey Thompson up off the floor.
Well, both of these teams are competing. There's no doubt about that.
First free throw rims out. First miss of the night from the free throw line from Audrey Thompson. Second free throw is on the way, and this one is good. Falcons drop back, play that defense. Snyder is checked back in for Air Force. Nice pass inside to Lavelle from Naro. That was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, when Lavelle's cutting to the basket, she does such a good job of reading the defender. And Boise, there's no question, as you see McDonald respond with a big three for Air Force, but there's no question where Boise State is trying to get the basketball right now. A concerted effort, whether it's on those backdoor passes, which was anticipated there.
And I'm not snickering at the fact that McDonald made that three-pointer, but the smiles on the Falcons' faces when that went in says it all. Falcons have control. Just over 2 to go in the third quarter.
That was Nikki McDonald's first three of the season.
Whistle, and we've got a foul called away from the shot. I don't think it was called
Boise State foul for 25
when Immel was shooting. That one goes against Rachel Bowers, a non-shooting foul. Well, as you said many times, confidence breeds success, and when one of them hit in a three and the next one hits a three, then the next one wants to try it, and so far they're falling here tonight for Coach Gobrecht and these Falcons. Audrey Thompson in the land of blue shirts has it swatted away by McGuire. Here comes Lavelle. Quickly the other way, 1-on-2. Lavelle goes left. McDonald stops her. Good defense, but there's McGuire with the follow. And that's the points that the Broncos have been missing, those points in the paint. Travel called against Kayla Pilson, and that's a good call. She took one too many steps there. Broncos have it. Naro brings it against Audrey Thompson. Hands off to Lavelle. Gets a step, and we've got a foul called against, I believe that's going against Jade Lavelle, an offensive foul. Good job of defense from the Falcons. Kayla Pilson.
I think we're going to talk about this a little bit. Coach Gordy Presnell arguing her feet were in the restricted area. The call's going to stand.
Official now talking to Coach Presnell about the decision. I don't think he really is interested in hearing her explanation right now.
You know, this is one of those nights, if you're Boise State, where it is just you're frustrated. You know, you're frustrated. Easy shots are not falling. You're frustrated because of the turnovers. You've got to be able to work through a lot of that adversity and see if you can find a way to chip into this Air Force lead.
McDonald send it to the right side. Sierra Winters is checked back in for Air Force. Immel head fake, and she will be called for the travel. See, I'm onto something in this whole traveling thing this year.
Either that or you're jinxing everybody. I don't know which one
I'm just telling you, I've seen the last 3 games, and there have been more traveling calls than I've seen in the last 3 seasons. Naro dobs it inside. That could have been called a travel. There's Winters working hard. Ball's on the floor. Jump ball called, and that possession arrow favors the Air Force Falcons.
just swarming the post. What Boise State's doing right now is completely overloading the left side of the floor and allowing their post players to go to work inside. They're trying to throw it inside and utilize their height as an advantage, but have not had a ton of success with it so far because of the way Air Force is defending the post.
Immel had a step against Rachel Bowers. Bowers gets the body into her, and Immel draws the foul. Take another look here. Kaylin with the head fake and gets around Bowers and gets forced out of bounds, and the official makes the call. Abby Muse has checked in, a 6'2" freshman from Brentwood, California for the Broncos. Free throw from Immel is good. Kamora Sykes will check in after the free throw for the Broncos. Second free throw good as well. Falcons up by 21 with less than a minute to go in the third quarter. Sykes will take over the point guard duties. Working against Audrey Thompson, gets through a screen. Here goes Sykes, kicks it inside. Nice pass. Ball rolls around and in so quickly. Abby Muse makes her presence known as she gets her first 2 points of the game. Winters working against Lavelle. Immel double teamed, gives it to Snyder. A near turnover by Air Force, but quick hands by Sierra Winters. 8 to shoot for the Falcons. Immel gets a little bit of space, going baseline. Kaylin cut off, has to get it up, does, and draws a foul amongst 3 Boise State players. Take a look here. Immel just really had to get it off as the shot clock was winding down. Stretches her body to get it off and goes right back to the free throw line where she just scored a couple of buckets.
Talk about making something out of nothing on that play. And you know, I want to talk about the free throw numbers right now. Air Force has gotten to the line 14 times compared to Boise State, only shot 4 so far this game.
Immel, one more, and it is good. Falcons patiently drawing fouls, making free throws. 8 seconds to go. Sykes gets it past Audrey Thompson. Layup is no good. Ball on the floor, and after 3 quarters of play, the Air Force Falcons lead the Boise State Broncos 61-40. We've got 10 more minutes to play here at Clune, but we're going to step aside for a quick timeout. This is Air Force women's basketball on the Mountain West Network. 4 minutes to go at Clune Arena. Air Force out in front of Boise State 61-40. Thanks for being with us this evening. I'm Vince Greco, courtside with Rachel Galligan. Rachel, Falcons have 10 more minutes. Keep this one in control. Just keep playing that solid defense. Take care of the basketball, and we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're in the driver's seat. You've got a 21-point lead. You've got to play smart. Time is on your side. Good execution. No unforced turnovers.
Snyder gets a step as she goes to the basket, and she's fouled. And Riley Snyder, as good a shooter as she is outside, she is deceivingly quick to the basket.
She uses her length really well, and I think she does a great job of understanding angles.
Snyder back to the free throw line, where she is 1 of 2 for the evening. Gets a little bit of shooter's touch there as it bounces off the front. It's Audrey Thompson, Winters, Conroe, Snyder, and McDonald on the floor for the Falcons to start this fourth quarter. Sykes working against Audrey Thompson. Lavelle goes against Winters. Nice move by Lavelle. Stopped, and a travel call against number 30, Jade Lavelle.
And that is the 21st turnover by Boise State. As we talked about it before, coming into the game averaging just 14 a game. That's a huge difference and reason the score is what it is right now.
Conroe posts up along the baseline. Has it knocked away from her. She picks it back up. Audrey Thompson backs it up, says let's play some defense. 10 to go on the shot clock. Uses a screen from Snyder. Out to McDonald, wants the three, and she's got it. The Falcons are on fire, shooting over 50% from beyond the arc.
Nikki McDonald came into this game 0 for 6 from the three-point line. It's just one of those nights for Air Force.
Osley wants a three to answer for herself off the front end, and there's another rebound for Audrey Thompson. No hurry here from the Falcons. Winters to Conroe, gets a step inside. Nice bounce pass. McDonald thought about the three. Instead, will give it to Audrey Thompson, who can't get it to go. The Falcons come up with a loose ball. Riley Snyder picks it up. Fresh 20 on the shot clock for Air Force. Wide open is, off the air. It was like an alley-oop pass. Comes right down to Riley Snyder. Loses it. There's Sierra Winters for the layup. And everything, literally everything, is going the Falcons' way right now.
I mean, hustle plays, just... It's fun to watch because they're all smiles, but if you're on the other end of it, man, the frustration is through the roof.
Ball kicked down in the corner. Lavelle rims out the three, and Snyder battles Osley for the rebound. This one comes up into the hands of Muse. Long shot, no good. Audrey Thompson comes down with yet one more rebound. This time a little more pace down the other end. Conroe layup, and it's good. Falcons extend the lead 70-40 with 7:40 to go in this fourth and final quarter. Foul called against Sierra Winters, trying to get through the screen of Mallory McGuire. Substitution checking in for the Air Force Falcons. Kayla Pilson. This is the foul you'll see here as Sierra Winters tries to get through the screen of McGuire, and she's called for the foul. Abby Muse will inbound it just to the right of our table here. Gets the ball inside to Christina Gill, who's seeing her first action of the night. Ball bounced inside. Shot is missed. Pilson with the rebound. Falcons will slow it up and work the offense. Audrey Thompson fakes using that screen from McDonald. McDonald thinks about the three again. This one just a little short. Kimora Sykes with good position and the rebound, and then a foul called against the Air Force Falcons. Checking in for Boise State is Martina Makalova.
Two internationals on the court right now for Boise State, and Christina Gill. I know her as well, Spanish player from Barcelona.
And she has the basketball, hands it off to Sykes. There's Conroe again. Look at the anticipation by Emily Conroe, wide open for the layup, and Conroe puts it in for her 14th point of the game, and now leads all scores for the Air Force Falcons. Sykes working against Audrey Thompson. Spin move, gets a step, and the foul goes against, it's either Audrey Thompson or Emily Conroe. Let's see what the officials come up with. Brianna Audrey Thompson gets flagged for the foul. Third team foul called against the Falcons in this quarter. Lob inside, nice spin move, but again, just unlucky for the Broncos. Sykes can't get it to go, and McDonald's there for the rebound. Two easy opportunities. Lalott had one of those, Sykes had one of those, and they just could not get it to fall. Pilson will line up. Nope, this one no good, and we'll have a jump ball. Quick whistle there, and the Broncos have possession as they may have a quick timeout here, as it looks like Abby Muse may have lost a contact. The officials are looking for it. And that's got to be tough. I wear contacts. I don't think I've been hit that hard, but that's got to be kind of a jar to knock that out of your eye.
It's happened a time or two, and it's difficult to find it. It's even more difficult to get it back in because you're usually on a timer to do so.
Yep. And I've had them for a long time, and not that we're talking about how to insert a contact into your eye, but without a mirror, I have a difficult time. Oh, looks like one of maybe the Falcons' assistant coaches thought she saw it from across the floor, and I still think we're looking for a contact.
Yep. The missing contact.
So in the meantime, Muse is going to go to the locker room to try and find a new contact. Boise State has the basketball, 6:10 to go in this fourth quarter.
Well, the good news is usually players and athletic trainers will carry an extra in situations like this.
Marks is checked back in, has the basketball, working against Conroe. She is really quick. Emily will be called for the foul out front. So the Falcons have picked up their fourth team foul. As you see here, just how quick Mark is to the basket and gets Emily Conroe to commit the foul. Gill off the side, good position again. There's Conroe battling for the rebound, and we'll have a whistle. Jump ball, Air Force basketball. Substitution for Air Force. Audrey Gadison, the 5'7" junior guard, back into the game from Blaine, Minnesota. She was averaging 2.9 points per game. That average is going to go up after tonight's contest, the way she shot the basketball. Gadison has it now. Kicks it over to Pilson. Bounces down to Cassidy Huffman, who's also checked back in. Falcons working that clock. Huffman squares to the basket, really needs to get rid of it. Finally kicks it out to Conroe. Falcons have 5 to shoot. Conroe is going to be called for an offensive foul as she's trying to create just a little space out front. Maybe got the forearm out just a little too much. Broncos with the basketball. Next foul, they will be in the bonus, committed by the Falcons. Lob inside, poked away by Huffman, and a quick whistle. Foul will be called against Cassidy Huffman, and that will send the Broncos to the free throw line.
And that was really good execution by Boise State. Able to get the ball over the Air Force defenders. Air Force was a tad bit late on that rotation. That has not, they've had to work for every post touch that they have gotten tonight. Boise State has.
Elodie Lalott at the free throw line misses that first free throw. She is a 6'3" freshman from Garden Grove, California. Again, a lot of freshmen on this Boise State roster. Second free throw is good. Gadison slows it down for Coach Govrecht and the Falcons. Gets it across the half-court stripe. Bounces. Pilson. Pilson has a step, but a foul called against Boise. Just the second team foul against the Broncos. Conroe will throw it in just to the top of her bench. Bounces to Gadison. Huffman squares to the basket, and whistle is called. Looks like a little stinger there or so on the shoulder of Kaylin Immel. She set a pick and came off that, kind of shaking her shoulder a little bit, but she shakes it off, says she's okay.
She was holding that shoulder pretty tight.
Gadison has it, under 10 to shoot for Air Force. Huffman sets a nice pick for Gadison. Nearly loses. It's going to have to shoot it. Launches from way outside, and once again, that's the second time tonight that Audrey Gadison has hit it off the glass. And as we said, everything is falling for the Falcons.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up right there, that shot.
Nice drive to the basket by Alexis Mark to answer for Boise State. We've crossed the halfway point of the fourth quarter. Falcons still out in front, 75-43. Immel thought about taking the shot. This one from the baseline doesn't get it to go, but a good effort by Immel to get the open look. Back the other way, Lalott had the rebound, gives it off to Sykes. She'll stop for three, off the front, no good. Rebound comes down to Makalova. Nice pass inside, and this one counts and in by Lalott. Good pass from Christina Gill. Gadison very methodically brings it up, hands it off to Immel. Conroe works against Mark. Falcons working darn near every second of that shot clock. Here comes Gadison, another wide open look. This one just a little bit too long. Huffman gets it back, gonna have to shoot. There's only 3 on the shot clock. Pilsen has it swatted away, and that is a shot clock violation. But good looks from the Falcons, just couldn't get it to go that time.
Yeah, they got the looks they wanted, but more importantly, they ran the clock that they wanted.
3:26 to go in this final quarter of play. Falcons up by 30. Back in a moment right here on the Mountain West Network. 5:45, Air Force in control of this one. 3:23 to go. And one thing I don't think, I'm sure Boise State fans realize this, but if you're watching and you're watching this Falcon team for the first time, yes, they're playing great defense, but Boise State came in averaging over 80 points a game.
Came in averaging 81 points per game, and this is a phenomenal program. I mean, what they've been able to build at Boise State is a powerhouse, in my opinion. But this is one of those nights, I feel like every team has a type of night like this where just nothing goes your way, and you have to credit Air Force. They have made every point that Boise has gotten tonight. They've made them scrap and claw for it. And I mean, right now, just 45 points, well below their average.
No doubt. Reagan Reed at the free throw line. Reed will have a couple of shots here. The first one is on the way, and she knocks it down. Some fresh bodies coming in at the whistle for Air Force, as Coach Gobrecht going to give some of these younger players some playing time with 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go in this game. Gadison works against Gill, gets it across half court. Gadison backs up, lobs it over to Immel, gets around a player for the layup, and Kaylin just can't get it to go. Those are plays she will make as she gets back into rhythm, the more she gets on the floor and some playing time. Layup missed. Get right back into the hands of Makalova, and she puts it in for her first 2 points of the game. Dasha McMillan has it, gives it over to Pilsen. Gadison has it, thought about the three, lobs to Huffman. Backing in, Cassidy spins and doesn't get it to go. Good idea, just a little too strong off the glass as Muse comes down with a rebound for the Broncos. There was a travel call against Christina Gill. And in for Air Force will be number 10, Camry Heath, number 20, Shadia Thomas, and number 50, Cam Jones. So some fresh bodies for Air Force here in the final 2 minutes of this game. Pilsen can't get it to go. Long pass out to Gill. She'll be cut off by Heath. Long three on the way. No. Rebound comes down to Lalott. Lobs inside off the hands of Reagan Reed, and Air Force will have it.
You know, Boise State usually shoots about 35% from the three-point line. They average 5 threes a game. Tonight, just 0 for 12.
Thomas against Gill. Heath has it. She'll take the shot and cannot get it to go. Good effort under the glass trying to get the rebound by the Falcons. Comes up to the Broncos as they push the pace quickly. Now they'll set it up. Lob inside, and a foul called against Camry Heath. Her first. Coming into the Air Force lineup will be number 5, Jordan Goodwin, 5'8" freshman from Antelope, California. Free throw rims out, no good for the Broncos. Muse has one more, and this one drops. Falcons get it in. Jordan Goodwin handles it for Air Force. Foul called against the Broncos. As time ticks down, you have to, as you said numerous times tonight, Rachel, Air Force has played really well. Maybe their best game all season, maybe the best game we've seen in quite some time. A lot of things did not go right for Boise State tonight, but as Coach Gobrecht sits on the bench and watches what happens here in the final few minutes and what has happened here so far tonight, she has to say to herself, this is what we've been working for the last several years.
Absolutely. I mean, I think when you look at a team like Boise State, who has been extremely dominant in the Mountain West, you're able to beat them, and headed into that locker room, you're able to talk about that moving forward of, hey, like, we can compete with anybody. We can go toe-to-toe with anybody now. It'll be interesting to see how Friday's matchup looks.
Exactly.
And very unusual to see two teams play back-to-back. We're going to see a lot of adjustments. It could be a completely different ball game. But I think for tonight, if you're Coach Gobrecht, you know, I agree with you. I've been covering Air Force games for close to 5 years now, and this is one of the best performances I've ever seen. And they did it on the defensive end of the floor. I think we're seeing a team that's buying in defensively. They're communicating. They're really on top of it with their rotations. And that feeds into them offensively, and the confidence of being able to knock down shots and make shots, shooting it as well as they did tonight.
There's no doubt. And the beauty of sports, if you're a Boise State Bronco fan, is that you go back to your hotel tonight, you'll have a little light practice tomorrow, and you get to come back out here again on Friday and try and make amends for what happened tonight.
Exactly, and it's all about how do you respond. You know, you faced a ton of adversity tonight, whether that be with calls not going your way, whether that be shots not falling. How do you take this game, get into the film room, and maybe you don't get into the film room. I know my coach, after certain types of games, would just say, we're not even going to watch it. We're just going to talk about what we're doing moving forward. But how do you respond? How do you respond after a night where things are not going your way? That's going to be the true test of what this Boise State team is made out of.
Reagan Reed converted the N1 on the other end. Down the other way, Falcons miss an opportunity inside. No quit in the Broncos as they push the pace quickly the other way. Nothing happening there. Cam Jones has the rebound, and quickly back comes Jordan Goodwin for Air Force. Falcons are going to be content, I think, to run this one out here. They've got a comfortable lead, clock under 10, and the Air Force Falcons are going to beat the previously undefeated Boise State Broncos. Final score 76-52. What a win for this program, and what an effort tonight from the Air Force women's basketball team as they take care of the Broncos. When we come back, we'll break this one down a little more. Statistics and highlights right after this here on the Mountain West Network. Welcome back to Clune Arena. Tonight's final score, Air Force wins this one 76-52. And before we get into some of these statistics and highlights, Rachel, we need to pass along. There's a couple of firsts tonight for these Air Force basketball women Falcons. Tonight's win was the largest margin of victory ever for this team in the Mountain West Conference. 5 players were in double digits. That's the first time this has happened this season. And in that second quarter, the Falcons held Boise State to just 7 points. That's the lowest output by any team so far this season in the Mountain West.
Yeah, I mean, those stats right there kind of just reassure me to kind of what we were talking about during the game. This is one of the best performances we've seen from this Air Force Falcons team in recent years. And look at some of these team comparisons. I mean, Air Force came into this game just shooting 35% from the field. They were able to shoot it extremely well, 42%, but even more so, I think it was that 3-point field goal number, shooting 47%. We had a lot of threes tonight. It felt like it was raining in here at some points. And then on the flip side, Boise State coming into the game shooting 35%, averaging 5 threes a game, were held scoreless beyond the arc. And those rebounding numbers, I mean, it was a battle all night on the glass, limiting each other's second chance opportunities. And the numbers are even there. But we talked about Air Force doing a great great job of sharing the basketball, 13 assists, but the biggest stat tonight, in my opinion, are the turnover numbers. Air Force underneath their average, and Boise State well above their average. Came into the game averaging 14 turnovers per game, finished the game with 25. You have to credit the Air Force defense on that.
Well, the Falcons scored 27 points off those Boise State turnovers. Let's show you how this one transpired. It started out pretty good for Boise State, and you knew you weren't going to shut down Jade Lavelle. She really comes to play hard each and every night. She had 16 points tonight as you see her working inside, outside, the little fadeaway. She is a really good player and kept her team in the game for a while. But defensively, what more can you say about the Falcons? You see Emily Conroe with the block and another steal inside by Air Force. Nice play and steal from Nikki McDonald, and she converts the layup. On the other end of the floor, we talk a lot about Emily Conroe. Just a she really plays well on both ends of the floor, as she had 14 points tonight. Falcons on the floor. Audrey Gadison stepped in when Brianna Autry-Thompson needed a breather. She knocked down a three-pointer. And then Emily Conroe, again, it's a broken record. Conroe the steal, Conroe the bucket. The Falcons just played relentless. There's the traditional third verse hand raise, and Air Force has every reason to celebrate tonight, as they really did not miss a beat on any end of the floor.
That was a great performance by Air Force. It's going to be very interesting. We're going to be back here on Friday as these two will square off again. Both teams going to make some adjustments. Going to be a completely different story on Friday. I'm looking forward to it.
I am too, and no time to rest, as you said. The Falcons will continue conference action Friday afternoon. Same two teams right back here at Clune Arena. Tip-off is set for 2:30 p.m. We hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, and we will see you back here on Friday. For Rachel Galligan and our Falcon Vision crew, good night, everyone.